After over 10 years of LEGO Minecraft, there are definitely some things you missed. From play features taken straight from the game, updates like minifigures with dual molded arms, and even things that LEGO actually got wrong. There's a lot to cover. So this is everything you missed in LEGO Minecraft, starting with a secret hiding in the jungle temple set. But it's got an insane play feature that's taken straight from the game. If you've ever ended up in the jungle, I'm sure you've run into a temple at one point or another. We all know about the booby traps that are waiting for you in there, but there's also a puzzle that lets you bypass all of them. The only problem is that it's really hard to solve, and because of that, it's made a pretty big name for itself over the years. So when LEGO made the jungle temple set, they had no choice but to put that same puzzle in the set. Just like how it works in game, once you solve it, you get a free pass to the loot, and as cool as this is, it's not even close to the coolest in-game function brought over to LEGO. That one's in the Ocean Monument set. Do you remember the first time you saw someone with an underwater house? That was literally the coolest thing to me when I was a kid, but it's a lot more simple than I thought. All you need is a sponge, and once you place it, the water gets absorbed and turns into air. And you can actually recreate this in the Ocean Monument set. This corner piece on the right is removable, and that's where you can find the sponge. Once you have that, you can connect it to the single stud plate at the top of the waterfall. And just like that, the sponge soaks up all the water. In my opinion, this is by far one of the coolest play functions in the whole theme. But did you know that LEGO designers made a minifigure to honor the origin of the creeper? Fun fact, the creeper was actually never supposed to exist. The creator of the game was trying to make a pig, but messed up the coding and ended up with the design we've always had. But how did LEGO reference this? Well, if you buy the creeper set, it comes with a pig minifigure in the shape of a creeper. When you build the set, it's technically supposed to go inside the creeper's head, but I don't know. I think a minifigure this cool needs to be on display. Speaking of displaying LEGO, did you know that the most famous Minecraft sets can be built in a bunch of different ways? You can do it with the bee farm, the abandoned mine, the first night, but there's one set in particular that's really well known for it, the Bedrock Adventures set. LEGO even made a video about it on their channel, but the fact that this set can do this isn't what I want to tell you about. This is a video about small details, remember? What I want to tell you is that you can find every ore from the overworld in this set, and before you kill me, it came out in 2018, so there were a lot less ores back then. LEGO hardly advertised this. All they did was show a picture of Steve with all 7 of them. But when this set came out, it was literally the only one in LEGO Minecraft that had all of them. If you think this is exclusive though, just wait until you hear what's in the end battle set. At first glance, this set really doesn't look like much. And honestly, it isn't. But the exclusive part about it is all in one brick. Literally. Every single one of these sets came with a brick that had a 25-digit code on it. And when you enter the code online, you'd unlock a skin in-game that looks just like the minifigure from the set. So yeah, the set's pretty small. But LEGO literally gave you a skin just for buying it. Isn't that sick? I gotta say though, the skin is literally the only reason I'd buy it. So it's a good thing LEGO made the Ender Dragon set to make up for it. This one has 3 times the amount of pieces, and everything actually looks really good. But I'm not just here to compliment it. There's one small thing that sets it apart from the end battle set. You know how when you fight the Ender Dragon, the end crystals light up and start healing him in the middle of the fight? Well, the Ender Dragon set comes with a light brick, and even though it's only one of them, you can make an end crystal light up, just like how they do in the game. This isn't the only set with this special brick in it either. The Mountain Cave set has one too, and it's full of stuff that lights up. Now, unfortunately, LEGO only gives you one of these light bricks, so you can't have all of this stuff lit up at the same time. But let me show you just how many there really are. Number 1, a furnace. There's one sitting inside the bedroom at the top of the set, and if you put the light brick in the side of the mountain, you can light it up and make it look like it's actually cooking something. Number 2, the spider spawner. Down in the cave, there's a little spider spawner. For this one, all you have to do is put it in behind the spawner, and voila, it lights up. Number 3, lava. Along with the spider spawner, there's also some lava down in the cave. And obviously, lava needs to be bright. So if you put the light brick in from the front of the set, you can make it shine. Number 4, torches. There are 2 torches you can bring to life in this set, and for one of them, the spot to put the light brick in is actually right next to the lava. Once it's in place, it lights up the torch on the outside of the cave entrance. But where's the other one? Well, this one is kind of 2 small details in one, but there's a dirt wall that can be completely taken out of place. Inside, there's a little makeshift room, probably because someone couldn't make it back to their house before the mobs came out. But you can make this torch light up too. The 5th and final thing that lights up in this set is redstone. If you you make your way back into the cave, you'll see some redstone near the lava. Again, this is one that has to light up. So to do that, just put the light brick in from the outside and watch it do just that. Clearly, LEGO went pretty hard with these light up spots. But another thing they love adding to Minecraft sets are secret spawners. And no, I don't mean spawners like the spider one in the set I just showed you. I mean secret ones where the mobs just jump out at you. The first one is in the Iron Golem set, and honestly, when I look at this set, I really can't tell where the spawner is, but that's because it's hidden really well. This build with a pumpkin on top is actually how you make an Iron Golem in-game. So when you push it back, an entire plate lifts up, and a golem spawns in out of nowhere. See what I mean? This spawner was hidden really well. Let's look at another one. There's a secret zombie spawner in the dungeon set, and again, it's super hard to spot. See this zombie in the back corner over here? Well, you can actually flip the entire part he's standing on to the outside of the set. Once you do that, he makes for a pretty good jump scare. The last spawner I want to show you though is in the skeleton dungeon set. And if you couldn't tell by the name, it's a skeleton spawner. Just like the zombie spawner, the part the skeleton is standing on in the corner can be flipped to the outside of the set. Only this time, it rotates instead of flipping upside down. Once it's gone, the set barely looks any different. So when you flip it back around, it makes for a pretty good secret spawner. LEGO really likes adding little play functions like this. They want the people who buy these sets to play with them, not leave them on display. Another way they make sure of that is by using knobs, and you can find one in the Deep Dark Battle set. This set takes place in the Deep Dark biome, and what happens when you take a wrong step here? The Warden steps in. Whenever he isn't aggroed, he's hiding underground, waiting for someone to piss him off. And when he does get angry, he pops out immediately. So to recreate that, LEGO added a knob to the side of the set that pops the Warden out when you turn it. It's a really simple feature, but it really shows that LEGO cares about recreating the game in real life. Another set with a slick little knob is the Coral Reef set. This set is tiny, so it must be pretty easy to see the knob, right? Well, not exactly. It's kind of hiding in plain sight, unlike the one for the Warden. I mean, that one's basically begging you to turn it. This one is a color-matched round brick on the side of the yellow archway, and when you turn it, a chest hiding in the coral slides out. It's nothing too special, but even in a set that only has 92 pieces, you still get a really cool play feature. At the end of the day, though, LEGO's still pretty selfish, because even in the Minecraft theme, they couldn't help but slip in a reference to themselves. It's hiding in the Enderman Tower set, and just like the pig in the Creeper set, this one's hidden in the minifigures. Wait a minute, let's look at these minifigs. These two guys don't look like anybody. They just look like random Minecraft skins. Well, that's because this reference is really hard to know about. Basically, this minifigure right here is actually supposed to be Nick Bluetooth, the main character from everyone's favorite theme, Galidor. LEGO named this minifigure the Dimensional Defender, hinting at the fact that he isn't from the Minecraft universe. So even though it's a pretty hard one to know about, when you put the two side by side, yeah, that's definitely Nick Bluetooth. If we're going to talk about different dimensions though, I have to show you this ruined portal set. The whole point of this set is that it's a broken nether portal that needs to be put back together. Just like the game, everything you need is around you. All you have to do is put the stuff in the right places. You can use the obsidian bricks on the side to put the actual portal back together, and then you can use some cobblestone to make it all symmetrical. Unfortunately, this isn't actually Minecraft, so it's not like you can take some flint and steel to this thing and watch the portal spawn in. But you can lift the solid gray pieces on the side to make it slide up from the bottom. As much as I wish there was some way to use flint and steel to make this happen, this is still really sick. Wait a minute, now that I think about it, I haven't shown you any Easter eggs with animals, and there are definitely a few of them in LEGO Minecraft, so let me do that really quick. In the Pirate Ship Voyage set, you can find a funny little camel. And what's the one thing about camels that makes them super popular? They can go a really long time without water. Like, a really long time. So because of that, LEGO added a blue 2x4 brick on the inside of its body. Oh, and just so you know, camels don't technically store water in their humps. So no, LEGO should not have had little blue studs to represent it. Anyways, another set with an animal Easter egg is the Ghast Balloon Village Attack set. Now, there's a lot going on in this set, including the fact that LEGO had to use tensegrity, which is awesome, but that's not what we're here for. See this giant chicken over here? Well, if you pull on its beak, an egg will pop out underneath it. I don't think you need to pull on a chicken's beak to make them lay eggs, so don't go trying this in real life or anything. But hey, it makes for a funny Easter egg. The last animal Easter egg I want to show you though is in the Wolf Stronghold set. Now, when you hit a wolf in Minecraft, its eyes turn all red and it starts aggroing you. A lot of different mobs do this if you hit them, but the thing I want you to focus on here are the red eyes. The Wolf Stronghold has a giant wolf at the top of it, and if you want to aggro it, you can take his eyes and turn them around. Then you'll end up up with those red eyes you get when you pick a fight with one in-game. Out of all the animal Easter eggs I just showed you, this one is probably the coolest. Not only is it accurate to the game, but it changes the entire atmosphere of the set. Okay, there's one last detail I want to show you, and to make sure we end with a bang, but now I want to show you something hidden deep inside the crafting table set. Now, before you get disappointed, don't worry, I'm not just going to tell you about the tiles Easter egg underneath all the biomes. Mine goes deeper than that. Literally. You have to take apart the entire set to see it. But do you notice anything about this color scheme? There are only a few colors here, but that's because they represent the lava and bedrock at the bottom of every world in Minecraft. The designer of this set really wanted to impress people, and as if he didn't do it already, this Easter egg just moved it up a notch in my book. However, this Iron Golem Fortress set takes LEGO designing to a whole new level. Now, if you've played Minecraft, you know that iron golems are these massive protectors that defend villages from hostile mobs. They're absolutely huge in-game, and they're one of the strongest allies you can have. So when LEGO made the Iron Golem Fortress set in 2023, they had a choice to make. They could either build a fortress with an iron golem, or they could do something way cooler. And trust me, they did something way cooler. The entire fortress transforms into a giant playable iron golem. You can literally pick up the entire build, rearrange the sections, and turn it into this massive golem figure that stands on its own. It's basically a display piece and an action figure all in one. This is one of the coolest play features in LEGO Minecraft. But another one is in the original Ender Dragon set from 2014. The Ender Dragon is the final boss in Minecraft. You travel to the end, fight your way through Endermen, and then you have this epic boss battle. In-game, the dragon flies around in circles, swooping down to attack you and then flying back up. So how did LEGO recreate that? Well, if you press down on one of the cubes on the dragon's back, the wings actually flap. It's such a simple mechanism, but it makes the dragon feel alive instead of just being a static playpiece. And since the wing pieces look like actual wings instead of the brick-built ones in the newer set, it just makes it look 10 times better. But now, let's talk about the creeper set from 2025. Now, obviously, everyone knows what a creeper is, but do you know how the creeper was created? Because it was never actually supposed to exist. The creator was trying to code a pig, and he accidentally swapped the height and width values. So instead of a short, wide pig, he got this tall, skinny creature with a pig's face on it. And instead of fixing the mistake, he turned it into the creeper. But how did LEGO reference this? Well, if you open up the creeper's head, there's a minifigure of that original pig shaped like a creeper inside of it. This story has gotten pretty big over the years, so pretty much everyone gets the reference as soon as they see it. But speaking of what's inside creepers, the baby pig's birthday celebration set has another creeper detail. Creepers are basically walking bombs, and even though Minecraft's been around forever, we have no idea what the anatomy of a creeper actually is. So we have no idea why they explode. So when LEGO made this set, instead of putting a pig creeper in there, they put a small block of TNT, since this creeper was actually big enough to fit something inside of its head. Anyways, now let's talk about the Pillager Outpost and Ravager set. Ravagers show up during village raids, and they're these massive angry creatures with huge mouths full of teeth. They charge at you, deal massive damage, and destroy crops just by walking over them. So when LEGO made this set, they had to capture that aggressive energy somehow, and they did it with one button. There's a button mechanism built into the Ravager's back, and when you press it, the mouth opens like it's about to bite something. It's such a simple play feature, but it makes the Ravager way more fun to interact with. Another set from 2025 with a clever play feature is the Trial Chamber. Now, if you've played the recent Minecraft updates, you know about the Breeze. It's this hostile mob that floats around trial chambers and shoots wind projectiles that knock you back. LEGO made a spring-loaded shooter for this set, but here's the clever part. The shooter has a specific connection point designed for the Breeze. You can attach it above the shooter, and when you fire it, it looks like it's actually shooting the projectile. LEGO could have just made a generic shooter, but instead they engineered it specifically to work with the Breeze, which is really sick. But now let's talk about the Parrot Houses set, because this one has something that's actually a really big deal. This set has the first Minecraft minifigure with a 2-color arm mold. Now, if you don't collect a lot of LEGO, you might not realize how rare 2-color arm molds actually are. Most minifigures just have solid color arms, or they have printed designs on them. But 2-color arm molds have 2 different colors molded together into one piece, and they're way more expensive to produce. You need special manufacturing equipment to inject 2 colors of plastic into the mold at the same time. And it's crazy that a Minecraft minifigure got one, since they don't even get printed legs. Minifigures in most LEGO themes have printed details on the legs, but Minecraft has always had plain solid color legs. So the fact that Minecraft got a 2-color arm mold before before they got printed legs is honestly pretty wild. If anybody needs one though, it's Steve. Obviously, he's always wearing a t-shirt in-game, but since LEGO never makes two-color arm molds, they have Steve wearing long sleeves. But a fan on Reddit figured out that you could actually take the arms from the Finn minifigure from Adventure Time and put them on Steve to make him more accurate to the game. But let's move on to the Badlands Mineshaft set, because it's one of the only sets that made the exploding TNT play feature way cooler. It's one of the oldest play features in LEGO Minecraft, and usually it just pops out some blocks, but in this set, lava actually falls in its place. This has literally happened to all of us in-game. I've gotten lazy digging a million times and just blown up the cave with TNT, only to get jump scared by lava and have to start all over. This is a rite of passage in Minecraft, so it's awesome to see it in LEGO. But now, let's talk about the Cherry Blossom Garden set, because this one has two cool details, and they both have to do with the Sniffer. Since these guys are pretty new, here's a general breakdown of how they work. There are these ancient passive mobs that wander around peacefully, and their main thing is sniffing the ground to find seeds. In game, you see them lower their heads and sniff the dirt, so LEGO included a play feature that makes the Sniffer sniff. But it doesn't stop there. Remember, all these guys do is sniff up seeds. So in the set, there are seed pieces hidden in the terrain, and when you make the Sniffer sniff in the right spot, he pushes them above ground, just like how they do in Minecraft. LEGO never makes a play feature based on a mob's function in game, so this was really cool to see. Another hidden detail is in the pirate ship Voyage set. This one comes with a brick-built camel, and in-game, camels are desert mobs. The whole point of them is that they can store water for long periods of time, just like how they do in real life. So what did LEGO do? They put a blue 2x4 brick inside the camel's body to represent water. You'd have to buy this set just to know this detail existed, so there's no way I could have left it out. Anyways, let's move on to the Nether Portal Ambush set, because there's a play feature in here that hits really close to home, just like that lava TNT detail. This set comes with a Ghast, and before you ask, yes, it can in fact shoot fireballs, but that's nowhere near the coolest thing about this set. LEGO made it so these fireballs can shoot out really fast, which is very important for this set in particular. In-game, all of our worst nightmares is a Ghast shooting the Nether portal and locking us in the Nether. And because of how fast the fireballs shoot in the LEGO version, you can actually recreate this exact nightmare. The purple pieces for the portal act like breakaway glass, so you can shoot them and make the portal look extinguished, which is really sick. Another hidden detail is in the Turtle Beach House set, and this one's pretty similar to the blue brick in the camel. If you look inside the turtle's head, you can find a brain piece, like what LEGO does for brick heads. It's completely hidden once the turtle is fully assembled, so you'd never know it was there, which I think is really funny. Anyways, now let's talk about the Bee Cottage set, because LEGO had to get pretty creative for this one. Since this set is focused around bees, it meant that LEGO had to somehow incorporate them into the build, even though bees can fly and LEGO bricks can't. So how did they do it? Well, first they had to make them float, and to do that, they took advantage of transparent clear pieces and mounted them to a tree. Now, from far away, they almost look like they're floating, but they still had the second problem, making them fly. But luckily, they killed two birds with one stone. Because of how it's built, you can flick the bees and they'll spin around in circles like they're flying. It's not the most accurate play feature, but they need literal magic to make LEGO bees fly around everywhere. So this is more than good enough. But let's jump back to an older set for a second, because the Snow Hideout set from 2015 has an exploding snow block feature. Obviously, explosions destroy blocks and send them flying in every direction. So LEGO built a mechanism where you can trigger an explosion and make snow blocks fly off the build. This is the only exploding play feature I've seen that doesn't have TNT, so I just had to put it in the video. Another set from 2015 with a sick detail is the Nether Fortress, and it has to do with Glowstone. Glowstone is this bright yellowish block that spawns in the Nether. It emits the maximum light level in the game, making it one of the best light sources you can use. So how did LEGO recreate this? Well, they used glow-in-the-dark pieces for the Glowstone blocks. If you turn off the lights, the set actually glows just like Glowstone does in-game, but don't expect it to light up your entire room. It's only a few studs. This isn't the only cool detail in this set though. The Ghast comes with two different facial expressions that you can swap out. Ghast float around looking sad until they spot a player. Then they get all angry and start shooting fireballs. So LEGO included both faces as printed tiles, which is such a nice touch. Moving on from that though, let's talk about the cave set from 2014, because it has a detail you'd only notice after you've finished building. Where the lava flow meets the water stream, there are two black 2x2s just sitting there. and even though they seem random, they actually aren't. They're sitting right where the lava and water come together. And what happens in Minecraft when you mix lava and water? You get obsidian. So these black 2x2s are there to represent that ore. Another set from 2014 with a surprising detail is the crafting box. This one comes with a table that shows how every block in Minecraft is built in Lego. It's basically a periodic table that shows which Lego pieces represent which Minecraft blocks. So if you're building and you're not sure what a certain piece is supposed to be, you can just check the table. The crafting box sets are also special because they always have these really cool designs on the box, but the boxes for Lego Minecraft in general have actually evolved a lot over the years. In 2014, the sets had this green trim around the perimeter with a creeper's face in the top right corner, but in 2017, Lego changed it to a pickaxe. The next change happened in 2018, and this time they changed the pickaxe to a picture of Alex and Steve. After this, the next change was in 2020, and that year they just took the trim away, which was pretty weird because they literally just brought it back in 2023, except now it had this cool pixelated effect in the corner. The biggest change though was for the Minecraft movie. These sets all got realistic box art, which looked really cool compared to the regular box design, and it matches the movie really well. But now let's take a look at the trading post set. This one comes with a wandering trader minifigure, and in game, the wandering trader shows up randomly and offers trades for rare items. In the set, Lego built him his own little trading stand, which isn't technically how they work in game, but at the stand, you can flip the table over to reveal items available for trade. Lego always gives Minecraft sets little play features, and this one fits this set really well. Another fun detail is in the mountain cave set from 2017, and it also has to do with a minifigure. This one comes with 6 of them, but one of them is a charged creeper, and the mountain cave was actually the first set to get one. In game, charged creepers are super rare, since the only way they happen is if a creeper gets struck by lightning, and out of every set in Lego Minecraft, you can only find a charged creeper in 4 of them, which makes sense because of how rare they are in game. But now let's talk about the Nether Railway set from 2017. I know it looks pretty boring, but there's actually a really cool detail with the magma cube. When you go past it on the cart, there's a mechanism that makes it look like it's jumping, just like it does in game. Now, obviously it isn't 100% accurate since it doesn't separate into different layers, but this is still a really cool play feature. But if you like Easter eggs and references, then you're gonna love the little updates Lego's been making. So let's start with one of the coolest pieces in the entire theme. In the Ender Dragon and End Ship set from 2024, the Ender Dragon head isn't just a display piece. You can actually put it on your minifigures like a helmet. This is exactly how it works in the actual game. When you defeat the Ender Dragon, you can mount its head on a wall, or you can wear it on your head, and Lego replicated that perfectly. But did you know Lego and Minecraft almost made a video game before the first set even came out? Around 2011 to 2012, Mojang and the Lego group were secretly working on a project codenamed Project Rexwondo, which was officially called Brickcraft or Minecraft Lego Edition. This was supposed to be a hybrid game where Minecraft blocks were made of actual Lego bricks. The whole thing came to light in December of 2020 on the Bits and Bricks podcast, and apparently it was going to be a first-person shooter game where you could build with Lego-style blocks in the Minecraft universe. But here's where it gets interesting. The project actually fell apart because of creative differences. Mojang wanted the bricks to look damaged and worn in the game to make it look more realistic, but Lego refused. They didn't want their precious bricks to be shown getting damaged, even in a video game, and they were also worried about their family-friendly reputation, since this was supposed to be a shooter game. So instead of getting Brickcraft or Minecraft Lego Edition, we got Lego sets, and honestly, I'm kinda happy it happened like this, even though the game would have been really cool. Keeping the evolution going, let's talk about when Minecraft Big Figs first showed up, because these things completely changed the game for the theme. Lego introduced Big Figs in 2 waves, and they're exactly what they sound like. More detailed figures that were way bigger than standard minifigures. Series 1 brought us the first oversized mobs and minifigures, and Series 2 expanded on that with even more options. Before Big Figs, every mob was either minifigure sized or built from bricks, which made the scale pretty inconsistent depending on the mob. Now we've got massive skeletons, huge creepers, and way more, all in this perfect in-between size that actually makes sense for Minecraft. It's one of those updates that seems obvious in hindsight, but at the time, it was a huge deal for the theme. Another big change was when the Steve minifigure got a massive update in 2024. In the Steve's Desert Expedition set, we got a completely new Steve design with updated printing and a fresh look. Now, truly, I have no idea why Lego decided to do this. Obviously, Steve has looked the same pretty much forever, so I really don't know where Lego got this face from. But the same set also gave us 2 smaller but really cool updates. First, the campfire got a total redesign, and the cactus did too. LEGO's been trying to figure out the best way to build cacti for years, and this set gave us a design that's at least kind of accurate to the one in game. To make one that's actually accurate, they'd probably have to make an entire mold for it, and LEGO's pretty stingy when it comes to molds, so we'll see what happens. Anyways, let's talk about zombie villagers for a second, because they got a huge upgrade in 2022 in the Abandoned Village set. The new zombie villager design is a night and day difference compared to the old one. The original zombie villager was pretty basic. It was basically just a zombie with a green villager's head, but the 2022 version has way more detail. The torso print is way better, the eyes are a lot more red, and one of them even gets a straw hat. It's such a massive improvement that when you put them side by side, the old one honestly looks kind of ridiculous. Speaking of improvements to hostile mobs, the witch got a pretty interesting update in the pumpkin farm set from 2023. The new witch in this set came with a hat that you could actually remove from her head. Before this, witch heads were molded with the hat attached, so you couldn't take it off without literally destroying the piece. But now you can pop the hat off and on whenever you want, which means we can turn Steve into a witch. But now I gotta talk about frogs, because LEGO's updated them a lot, and each version is better than the last. The first major update came in 2023 with the Swamp Adventure set, which introduced a completely new frog mold. This was a huge step up from whatever LEGO was doing before. The new mold actually looked like the frogs from Minecraft, but they didn't stop there. Later in 2023, the Pumpkin Farm set added a gray frog variant to the fleet. And then in 2024, the Frog House set gave us a bright green frog with even better detailing. So within the span of 2 years, LEGO went from basic frogs to having multiple colors and designs that all look incredible. Frogs weren't the only aquatic mob getting love though, because axolotls got a new color in 2023 as well. In Minecraft, axolotls come in 5 different colors, and LEGO's slowly been adding them to sets over time. They haven't quite gotten there yet, but hopefully we'll have all 5 really soon. If we're gonna talk about colors though, we have to mention sheep, because LEGO's been updating these guys a lot. The Crafting Box 4.0 set from 2023 had a new sheep with a blue-green color inside of it. Then again in 2023, they threw a pink sheep in the Animal Sanctuary set, but unfortunately it wasn't an actual figure like the blue one. But in 2024, LEGO added an orange sheep to the Windmill Farm set. Just like with axolotls, there are a few different color sheep in Minecraft, except there are way more than 5, so they've got a long way to go. But they're slowly but surely getting every color in the lineup. This next update is a little different though, because it was actually kind of a downgrade. In 2023, LEGO dropped the Bee Cottage set, and it came with a baby zombie minifigure. Now, this one is really hard to notice, but when you look at it next to the old baby zombie, you'll see that it's missing the pixels on its torso. Obviously, this isn't that big of a deal, but it's definitely weird that LEGO changed the mold to get rid of detail instead of giving it more. Anyways, a hostile mob that didn't get a downgrade are the Illagers. The Illager Desert Patrol set is the first set to include the new Illager banner, which is based on the banners that Illager patrols carry in the game. LEGO's used them in sets before, but they always had these 2 clips on top, which is obviously not how they look in game. So now that it's a clean tile, it matches the game a lot better. But it's not just the mobs that are getting updates. The main characters are too. The Nether Lava Battle set from 2025 has the first Alex minifigure with an angry face print. Before this, Alex was always smiling or had a neutral face, which didn't really make sense when you're supposed to be fighting mobs in the Nether. But now she's got a battle-ready face that actually matches the action these scenes are depicting. Speaking of the Nether, the zombie piglin finally got a proper update in 2025. The baby pig house set has the new and improved zombie piglin minifigure, which replaces the old zombie pigman design. This change actually happened in Minecraft itself back in 2020, when the Nether update replaced zombie pigmen with zombie piglins. LEGO took a few years to catch up, but now the minifigure actually looks like the current version of the mob. That same set also updated the regular pig print, which might seem minor, but it's actually pretty noticeable if you compare it to older versions. The new print has better shading, more detail, and just looks way more polished than the original version. It's one of those updates where if you don't have an old pig sitting next to the new one, you might not realize anything changed, but once you see them side by side, the difference is really obvious. Another animal like this are cats. In the Crafting Box 4.0 set, LEGO added a new cat color, and they also included a sitting version of an old cat. Then in 2025, the Mushroom House set gave us another new cat print with even more detail and better colors. With moves like these, it's obvious that LEGO knows they have a lot of variations to work through, so it's good to see that they're actually trying. Now let's talk about something that happened earlier in the theme's history, but still deserves attention: the expansion of cube head mobs. In 2017, 2019, LEGO introduced new cube heads that weren't just for creepers and zombies. We got a dark red magma cube, a witch head with an integrated hat, and the first transparent bright green slime cube. These were a quiet expansion of the cube mob system that started with basic slimes, and looking at what we have today, clearly this opened the floodgates in ways we didn't know were possible back then. Just like how slimes got their own mold, silverfish got their own mold too. Before this, there was no good way to build a silverfish in LEGO form. They're small, annoying, and kind of hard to translate into bricks. So LEGO didn't really have any choice but to make a mold instead. If you've ever mined into a stronghold and gotten swarmed by silverfish, you know how important it is to have these in your LEGO builds. They're not the flashiest mob, but having an accurate version is pretty satisfying. Another mob with an insanely accurate LEGO form is the Hoglin, specifically the new one in the Nether portal ambush set from 2024. Compared to the old Hoglin design, this one has way more life to it. LEGO completely changed the colors, the tusks, the face print, pretty much everything about this guy got an upgrade. The old Hoglin was clearly not the best looking mob, and another one that actually looked worse than this was the old Husk. The first Husk minifigure came out in the Creeper Mine set from 2019, and I think we can all agree that this design is just not it. There's barely any detail on the entire minifig, and it basically just looks like 3 different color browns put together. But in the Badlands Mineshaft set from 2024, everything changed. We got a completely new Husk design, and just like the Hoglin, it's better in every way. The faceplate and torso are way more detailed, the legs got a better color, like I said, literally everything got better. But wolves also got some love in 2024 in the Wolf Stronghold set, only it wasn't the wolf itself. This set introduced a new wolf shield that you can give to your minifigures, which could be a reference to how important wolves are as companions in Minecraft. Once you tame a wolf, it'll follow you around and help you fight mobs, so having a shield that represents them is a cool way to show that bond. And also, let's be for real, the design in general just looks sick. One thing I haven't really talked about though are plants, and the Trails and Tails update from 2023 gave LEGO a lot more room to work with. The biggest plants from this update were the torch flowers and the pitcher plant, and you can actually find them in the cherry blossom garden set from 2024. They aren't that accurate to the Minecraft version, since having something so small with that many colors is basically impossible in LEGO, but it's still cool to see LEGO keeping up with the new updates, even if it does take them a long time to make their version of it. Speaking of things that took a while to show up, the Loom finally made its LEGO debut in the Windmill Farm set from 2024. In Minecraft, looms are essential for creating custom banners. You use them to apply patterns and designs to blank banners, which is super useful for decorating your base or marking territory. It's honestly kind of shocking that it took until 2024 for LEGO to make one, considering how important they are to the game. But now that we have one, you can actually build out a proper crafting area with all the stations you'd actually use in Minecraft. Another staple of Minecraft is the Nether portal, and in 2023, it got a completely new design in the Armory set. Now, at first glance, you might actually think it looks worse than the old one, but the reason LEGO designed it this way was so they could give it a brand new play function. Now the portal swings open, which is really good for people who actually play with their Minecraft sets. But those same people have noticed a lot of inaccuracies in this theme. I doubt anyone watching this doesn't know who Herobrine is, but just in case, he's basically a phantom Minecraft character. He started out as a creepypasta in 2010, and over the years, he got super popular online, to the point where Mojang even put him in the patch notes just to mess with everyone. He was never an actual mob in Minecraft, but when LEGO and Minecraft first collabed back in 2012, LEGO wanted to do some trolling too. Back then, LEGO was only making these micro world sets, and even then, the first official Minecraft set was in LEGO Ideas, which means LEGO themselves didn't even make it. A fan did. Since there weren't any minifigures in micro world sets, LEGO couldn't just throw in a Herobrine minifigure for fun. So instead, they hid him in the second page of the instructions. Technically, this isn't really a mistake, since LEGO knew Herobrine wasn't real, but this is the only lighthearted mistake in this video, because the rest of them are just downright wrong. Like the fact that LEGO didn't give Steve the right skin color until 2024. Now, maybe you're thinking it isn't that bad, since LEGO wasn't even making minifigures for Minecraft at first. But unfortunately, you're wrong. They started making them in 2014. 3 of them that year were for Steve, and obviously, this guy's skin color is nowhere near what it looks like in-game. It looks like he didn't touch grass for like 2 years straight. Obviously, the worst part about this is that LEGO took 10 whole years to finally make a Steve minifigure with the right skin tone. And at first, they didn't even even make one with a regular faceplate. They made this one where he has camel spit on his face. He came with the Steve's Desert Expedition set, but luckily since then, LEGO's released one with a regular faceplate in 3 sets. So if you want a Steve minifigure with the right skin tone, now's your chance. Obviously, LEGO didn't really know what they were doing in the early days, but a lot of the same stuff from back then is still going on today, like the fact that creeper minifigures can't connect to studs. When you look at the bottom of them, you'd really think they'd be able to, but apparently that's all just for looks. The first creeper minifigure came out in 2014, and LEGO's been using the exact same one ever since. Even when they make new creeper minifigures, like the charged, enchanted, or exploding creeper, they use the same mold, so none of them can attach to studs. I feel like changing the mold to make it so they can connect to studs is a worthwhile investment, especially since the creeper sits on a tile in the creeper's head in the creeper set. Like, the irony here is insane. Speaking of irony, the fact that there are so many imperfections in LEGO Minecraft is pretty crazy, and they go way beyond stuff like skin tones. These days, the proportions are spot on, besides the times they're not, which I'll get into later. But back when LEGO Minecraft was just Micro World, things were seriously out of whack. They dropped the village set back in 2013, and when you built it, you ended up with 4 separate builds that you could merge together. But one of these builds shows a snowy mountain, which is definitely not right. Snow slabs only spawn naturally, so technically you shouldn't be able to build them out of LEGO, since you can't do the same thing in-game. There are a lot of examples of this with slabs other than snow, but this is super nitpicky, so I'll just leave it at this one. But this next mistake is undeniable, and it's in the forest set where they snuck in Herobrine. This set is the same as the village set. You make 4 separate builds and put them together. But something I noticed right away is how inconsistent the dirt blocks are. Some of them are 1 plate with a green tile on top, which looks alright, but others are 2 plates with a tile on top, which isn't even close to a perfect cube. Now, some of these are just LEGO trying to build a terrain, but the one at the top is literally unquestionable. That thing is nowhere close to being a cube. If you thought dirt blocks and snow slabs were bad though, allow me to introduce you to the 2015 version of a LEGO snow golem. This has got to be the worst LEGO Minecraft recreation in this video so far. I mean, this thing isn't even close to what a snow golem actually looks like. Obviously, the super small size difference from the bottom block and the middle block would be basically impossible to make in LEGO, but that's not even the part I'm mad about. I just think it's insane that LEGO used stud shooters for its arms instead of using a piece like this. I do have to give them some credit, since snow golems throw snowballs and stud shooters were the only way to make that happen in LEGO, but I just can't get over how weird it looks. At least this one happened back in 2015 though, because the fact that LEGO thought this would be passable as a baby Hoglin in 2021 is unreal. I don't know which one's worse, this or the snow golem. I mean, there are so many problems with it. For one, the color is way off, just like Steve. And for 2, LEGO butchered the best part about Hoglins, their tusks. They're in the complete wrong spot, and they're not even close to the right color. Again, this came out in 2021 with the Ruined Portal set, but LEGO did make a new version in the Nether and End Portal Journey set. Honestly, it really isn't that much better, but at least the colors are more accurate. Gray tusks on a baby Hoglin is genuinely insane. Now, all of these problems have been in a bunch of different sets, but unfortunately for LEGO, it's time for me to show you a bunch of problems in just 2 sets. Josh Wright from Firestar Toys likes to build LEGO sets in Minecraft for fun, and when he built the chicken coop set, he found a whole bunch of problems. I'll start small and work my way up. First of all, one of the promo pics LEGO used for this set shows an axe leaning against some stone blocks. And if you've played Minecraft even for 5 minutes, you know this is physically impossible. But the banner that's right next to the axe is also physically impossible to make natively in Minecraft. There's probably some way you can code it, but I definitely don't know how to do that, so I can't count it. Now, this is where the real mistakes start showing up. Obviously, this set has a chicken pen built into it, but when it gets built in-game, not only is the LEGO gate double the width of the Minecraft one, but when you build this exact pen in-game, the chickens can just get out. Josh used 2 gates to close the chicken coop, so it isn't because of that. They can literally just hop out. But the third one is the worst one by far. LEGO shows eggs dumping straight into a chest in this set, and this time you'd had to have played Minecraft for like 20 minutes to know this, but obviously this is not possible. Another set Josh built and found problems with is is the Waterfall base set, and these problems are actually a lot crazier. First of all, the set shows crops growing up a waterfall on what should be sandstone slabs, but there are two things wrong with this. First of all, you can't grow crops on sandstone slabs. It's physically impossible. So theoretically, for this to work, you'd need regular sand slabs, which don't exist. But regardless, even if they did, the only crops that can grow naturally on sand slabs are desert crops. But anyways, the Lego bed is 33% longer than a Minecraft one. The Lego bed is 3 blocks long, but Minecraft beds are only 2 blocks long. So the math here is just not mathing. But the worst and also funniest mistake has to be the fact that Lego just left a hole in the roof of the build. Josh did the same for authenticity, but I really can't figure out why there's a hole in this set when there are doors to get inside. I mean, it just doesn't add up. Lego puts stuff in sets that doesn't exist all the time. And another set they did this with was the Nether Fortress set. And the worst part is the mistake is the main attraction of the set. Now, maybe you thought I was talking about the Nether portal, but I'm actually talking about the Ghast. At first glance, nothing seems wrong with it, but after you count the tentacles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, they're missing the 9th tentacle. Most of the inaccurate mobs in Lego are only inaccurate because of how impossible or expensive they'd be to make, but this really is a little ridiculous. It's a known fact that Ghasts have 9 tentacles. It's one of their main features, but even when Lego tries to make things right, like they did with the stud shooters for the snow golem, they still end up wrong. And another example are the wither skeletons in the wither set. Unlike the snow golem, the wither skeletons actually look really good in Lego form, but as a Minecraft player, I can't not address this. In-game, the wither skeletons are taller than regular skeletons, and just like the snow golem with throwing snowballs, Lego knew it was essential to recreate this aspect. So to make it happen, they had the wither skeleton's legs be twice as tall as regular skeleton legs. The only problem is that this made them way taller than they should have been. This is a pretty difficult and expensive thing to overcome, since Lego would probably have to make a whole new piece just to make the proportions right. But like I said, I couldn't not point this out. I don't feel bad about this next one though, because unlike wither skeletons, this next mistake involves something that literally every Minecraft player sees all the time: water and lava. In-game, both of these elements have a little bit of texture to them. You know, they're not just one color, but in Lego, they are. Lego uses regular blue and red-orange pieces to represent them. And obviously, what I'm about to say next would be really expensive, but couldn't they have just made 1x1 tiles with the design printed on them? Water and lava are like the 2 most famous things in Minecraft after Steve, diamonds, and dirt blocks, so the least they could have done was spent some money on them. But going back to things Lego's done that just aren't possible in-game, you won't believe what Lego did to the Witch. They released the first Witch minifigure back in 2017, and it was only ever in the Witch Hut set. But that all changed in 2023, when Lego released this version, with a less cool hat, in the Pumpkin Farm set. And don't get me wrong, the mistake here isn't that Lego took away the print on the hat, even though that would technically be a wrong detail. The mistake is that Lego made the Witch's hat removable. To be honest, I thought this update was really cool, but I have to be brutal for this video. This is not possible in-game. Even though I think it's hilarious that you can turn Steve into a witch, this detail is technically wrong. But this next mistake isn't even close to a technicality. It's just plain wrong. Back in 2014, Lego dropped the first Knight set, and it came with a brick-built pig. Now, obviously, a pig would be really hard to make in Lego with all of the different colored pixels, so that's not the mistake here. I'm not that mean. But it does actually have to do with the pig's colors. Every piece you build the pig with is supposed to be bright pink, as you can see on Bricklink. But when the Brick Blogger did their review way back in the day, apparently the pig's bricks in their set weren't all the same color. They complained about how this should have been caught by quality control, but to me, it seems like they just got a bad batch, since all of those pieces are supposed to be the same color. But what Easter egg, update, or wrong detail surprised you the most in this video? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.